Okay. Remember, so last week we talked about it, about the energy of the two governments. Remember, government of the upper world, the heavens, and government on earth. That was 2 weeks ago. The last week we talked about the free ourselves from that energy of time, because we want to be above time, above what's happening in the 1% world, and to cleave ourselves with the energy of tree of life, the energy of the Creator. Today Rav Ashlag is talking about Hatov ve'Hara absolutely, the absolute good and bad. Rav Ashlag is saying, ובטרם שאנו נכנסים בהתבוננות של תיקון הרע של המין האנושי, before we looking into the bad correction of humanity, it means like the negative side of what humanity need to correct, צריכים לקבוע מקודם את ערכם של אותם השמות המופשטות טוב ורע. We need to determine, we need to decide the value of those words that we using that called טוב ורע, good and bad. כלומר, כלפי מי מעריכים את המידה ואת המעשה. It means who we talking about when we referring the good or the bad, that if it's attribute or the action, עד להגדיר אם מידה ומעשה טוב הוא, או להפך שהוא מידה ומעשה רע. Till we deciding, right, as people on earth, we're deciding if that attribute or that action is good or it's bad. This is what I was actually asking. But he says we need to understand what does mean good and bad. ולהבין זה צריכים לידע היטב את הערך היחסי שבין הפרט והכלל. So to understand that, I was just saying, we need first to have the understanding to know the value between the individual and the klal that represent the majority, the people. דהיינו בין היחיד אל הציבור שלו, between the individual and his the people around him, the world. שהיחיד חי מתוכו וניזון מתוכו, because the individual, he lives from himself, and whatever he received, it's according his actions, so it's because of him. הן בחומריות והן ברוחניות, if we're talking about 1% stuff or spiritual stuff. We know everything that we are doing or saying, or many times we thinking even, right? And then we have that imagination that we going into, that affecting our thoughts, affecting our feelings. So a lot of those things that depends on us, and there are things that not depends on us. Right now I just read the Zohar on Kabbalah.com, but also you can find it on YouTube. A very, very powerful passage from the Zohar that speaks about something we know, but we're not using so much, the power of our words, and how with our words we're supposed to awakening the level of the light in other people. So it means it's first of all going through my vessel, then I'm awakening that energy of other people. And the Zohar says, instead of creating darkness in the world, we need to create light in the world. So if we're talking just about that matter of just our words, right? If I can use just my words in a powerful way, also the Zohar says that when we come into this world, we receiving certain amount of years to live on earth. But if we're using our words in a negative way and creating darkness, they shorten in the time of the human being to stay on earth. But if he's using positive words and adding light to the world, they can add more years or days or whatever time he needs to do his correction, to do his spiritual correction. So we see that just with the power of the words, how much, if that determines if person, I know how many years he will stay, he will live. It's just crazy to think about it. We using the words almost. I'm saying always because sometimes people go to sleep and they talking while sleeping. Almost we can say, I don't know, like 17, 18, 20 hours a day. And how many words we saying, right? Like sometimes it's crazy that the amount of words. What is the intention behind the words? What is the thought behind it? Are we really adding positive to the world? We adding negative to the world? Sometimes we know the Rav is saying that the ones that create a lot of negativity and distraction is people that they feel that they are right. Sometimes I can be positive, I can come from the positive, but I want to be right, and I'm creating negativity and not positivity. So it's really like a very thin line between those two energies. And here the Rav is saying we need to know what is the good and what is the bad, right? So he says, so in the physical level and in the spiritual level, ומן המציאות הממשית אנו למדים, and from the real existent, we are learning, שאין כלל זכות קיום ליחיד, that the person just to be by himself, we're not supposed to be by ourselves on earth. It says they don't have the right to exist by themselves. אם היה מבודד לעצמו בלי ציבור מספיק, if he will be by himself with no one around him to help him, שישרתו ויעזרו בסיפוק צרכיו, that they will help him to have all the needs that he needs, right? If you think about it, back in the days it looked like it was like that, but till we come to that realization, we can't live by ourselves. We need people to help us. So imagine if you're hungry and you need to go now to hunt or to look for your food, it can take maybe the whole day till you can find food. Not today, of course, there's a supermarket, but it says, let's say you live somewhere far by yourself and no food, no supermarkets, no people around you, no one, just two by yourself. Imagine that for a second, yes? And now you're hungry. You need to look for food. So if you need to fish or to hunt or do something, sometimes they can take hours or a day or maybe days. We don't train even to hunt, right? So then what, right? It's just to find food. What about other things in our life, right? So it means, when we live around people, they helping us, they serving us. Each one of us have different talent, right? And people around us have different talent. They supporting us. Unfortunately, we get used to it. So we don't appreciate that so much. Chas v'shalom, when we appreciate something, when we're losing it, right? We need to start to appreciate when we still have it. And here Rav is telling us, if a person will live by himself, it doesn't right to exist even because you can't live by yourself. You think you can. The ego tell me, yeah, I can do whatever. I can be myself. I don't need no one else. When we get upset and angry sometimes, we feel, I don't need no one, right? Chas v'shalom. Chas v'shalom. To think even like that. The person can find himself by himself one day and then nobody's supporting him, nobody, give him energy or the light that have before, we don't appreciate that we have people around us, that we have the majority. This is why good and bad, it's first of all, when we're talking about ourselves, about good and bad, in the spiritual and physical, and also our saying it's a very big matter that we don't understand. We know he didn't even start to explain, we're just at the beginning of how does it work between me and myself and the Creator and between us and other people, the majority. Okay? So, Rav is saying that the person, he born to live with society, among people. We didn't born to live alone. Maybe the opponent will tell us, no, you can do everything by yourself. You can, yeah. You are amazing. You can do everything by yourselves. We can't. ומבינים אנו מזה שאדם נברא מלכתחילה לחיות חיי חברה, וכל יחיד ויחיד שבחברה הוא כמו גלגל אחד מלוכד בגלגלים מספר. He says, we born to live inside of the society together with more and more people, and each one of the society and of the individual, he says, is like a wheel that he connected with the other wheels together, one unified energy. המותנים במכונה אחת, that all of them working in one big machine, שהגלגל היחיד אין לו חירות של תנועה, so the individual wheel, he doesn't have the freedom of movement, בערך יחידתו לפי עצמו, just according himself, אלא שנמשך עם תנועת כלל הגלגלים בכיוון ידוע, he need to move in the exact way, in time that the other wheel is moving, in a known direction, להכשיר את המכונה לתפקידה הכללי, to make sure that they doing everything in their power and the unity and their movement together to take this machine to its result, that why or what this machine is supposed to do. So again, what Rav is telling us, because we want to, it's very interesting and powerful, we want to keep it also short, because we want to meditate and concentrate about the energy. Rav is telling us here, amazing thing, that we need to transform our consciousness, because many times we feel that we can live alone, or we feel that we can do things by ourselves. He says, no, the person he born to this world, not to live a lonely life, and to, again, doesn't mean getting married or not getting married. We're not talking about this type of energy. We're talking about that this ego that's telling us, you can do everything by yourself. You don't need no one in this world. Whatever the ego telling us, he says we can't. We're born to live inside of a society, because we supporting and helping each other. If we believe in it, and we don't believe in it, we accept it, and we don't accept, we need. You go to the supermarket, everything is ready for you. You go to a gas station, everything is ready for us, right? We just taking, cooking it, eating, even go to a restaurant, everything is ready for us. So it means we don't appreciate because it's there, but we need to start to appreciate. So he said, but the way it works, and we need to remember, any movement that we are doing, yes, we're saying we have free will, right? Because we have the individual correction, but from the point of the universe, everyone need to move to the same direction of the correction, because we supporting and helping each other, and each one of us represent this wheel from this big machine that moving together in a unity way toward the goal of removing pain and suffering, the goal of being like the light, the goal of everything that you study in Kabbalah, that we need to bring the endless, or live the endless by the rules of the endless here on earth. Because each one of us is supposed to have from the endless, and while we came here, what the Creator is telling us in a simple way, להיטיב לנברואיו, we're supposed to have 24/7, to have good in our vessel, to have joy, to have happiness, to be healthy. So this is something we need to have, that fulfillment, not just in the 1%, also in the 99%, also in our spirit, to feel really, really fulfilled and good. So if we don't have it yet in the way that we wish to have it, it means I'm not doing my part of the wheel in that big machine. If I'm one of the wheels of the big machines, I need to fulfill first of all my part. Then I can look at other parts. But first of all, to make sure that my part, but the funny thing is, if I'm making sure that my part doing the work the way it's supposed to be, I don't have time to look on other people's work or job. If they do good, if they do bad, I don't have the time. I'm busy to finish my work, to do my work. Doesn't mean I'm selfish. No, I'm responsible. Because I know if I'm not behaving like the light and doing my work, it's not just me going to suffer, my vessel, my empty space I'm creating, people around me will suffer, and the world will suffer, because I'm creating empty spaces. I don't want to create more darkness in my life and in the world. I want to concentrate to do what? To add more light. The light of wisdom, the light of the Creator, the blessings from the light. And this is why I need to concentrate to do my part. My part. And when I'm doing my part, now I can start to influence other vessels with my words, with my thoughts, with my actions. And people will want to cleave themselves with me and to, what are you doing? Wow, you have amazing energy. I want from from what you having. So that the light of the Creator. Okay, so let's take the words of Rav Ashlag and work toward it, because we have the support from the cosmos. We're still in the time of Hanukkah. We still can pray. We can still ask to correct things. I don't know if I mentioned it here, but it's one of the righteous is saying this time connected to the time of Sukkot, and the envelopes that have been sent at the end of Sukkot, they didn't been activated yet, because from Sukkot till the end of Hanukkah, we still can change the decree inside of the envelope. We can still change it. So it means we still have time. And this is why he says, some of the Kabbalists, they're still saying, Gmar Chatima Tova, that you're going to have a good signature, a good stamp at the end of the holidays, right, for the new year. So he said some of them, they still saying Gmar Chatima Tova because it's going to be sent or to be opened after Hanukkah. So it means we still have a chance to transform whatever negativities we create in the past year, that we're going to start this new year with a lot of positive energies and support from our soul, from the righteous souls from the upper world, from the light of the Creator, to do our spiritual work and to be a beacon of light in our life and for the entire world. So I think it's very exciting. So let's open our mics and share Chag Sameach and Shabbat Shalom and Chodesh Tov. Also, if you want to join us tonight at 7 p.m., the 8th candle. Yes, I'm going to light the candle, so if you want to join, it's Vizot Chanukah. All the power of Chanukah tonight. Light of Binah in a vessel of Malchut. Bye everyone. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. All the best.